morning and welcome to this edition of News Leader on 6. I'm Jim Fuller. In tonight's news, TVA is working on going green. The governor recently delivered his State of the State address, and a new study finds people with dementia are at higher risk of contacting COVID-19. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
Now open in Tullahoma, Parkview Senior Living, a luxurious retirement community designed for active seniors. Choose an apartment home that's truly inspired and have peace of mind knowing our caring and friendly staff is dedicated to your safety and well-being. We offer an abundance of amenities and services, and you're not required to buy in or be locked into anything. Call us today to learn more about our new Tullahoma location.
I'm Philip Bourne, STEM and NAB Detail Shop Manager. Here are a few things our customers have to say about our service.
What I love most about the STEM McNabb Detail Shop is there's someone local that I can trust to pick up my car, have it cleaned, and deliver it back to me in showroom condition.
What really amazed me is when he opened the hood and looked like he had taken the old engine out and put a new engine inside.
We have several different packages and individual services to get your vehicle looking like new again. We're located just behind STEM McNabb Chevrolet dealership. Call today, schedule an appointment, and see what a difference our detail can make.
Many Tennesseans are wondering, do masks really fight the spread of COVID-19? A recent study shows they do. 2 hairstylists worked for several days with respiratory symptoms and serviced patrons in close contact. Both stylists later tested positive for COVID-19. 139 clients were exposed to coronavirus after being in direct contact. Both stylists and their customers opted to wear masks. No COVID-19 symptoms were identified among the 139 exposed clients or their secondary contacts. Out of the clients that were tested, all tested negative for COVID-19. Face it, masks fight COVID-19.
Welcome back. The Tennessee Valley Authority has increased its solar capacity by 60% in the last 5 months and has plans of doubling its solar energy usage by 2040. TVA President and CEO Jeff Lash said, quote, "Carbon reduction is at the center of TVA's sustainability strategy, and TVA is investing in clean, cost-efficient, and reliable solar energy to revitalize communities. Our renewables programs push green power to the local level to create jobs and investment across the valley," end quote. TVA expects to add 7,000 to 10,000 megawatts of solar energy to its already more than 7,000 megawatts in the next 20 years. The Public Utilities Green Invest program has added 964 megawatts of contracted solar and 130 megawatts of battery storage in 2020. The recent growth is because of commitments from the Knoxville Utility Board, the Metro Nashville Movement, and Vanderbilt University through a partnership with the Nashville Electric Service. The Green Invest program has attracted more than $736 million in solar investments and 1,025 jobs. Chris Hansen, TVA Vice President of Origination and Renewable, said, quote, "TVA is using renewable energy to create a competitive advantage and drive economic growth in our region. Through our public power model, we are using Green Invest and other partnerships to position our local power companies, Valley businesses, and corporations as environmental leaders," end quote. Almost 60% of the electricity TVA supplies for the 7-state region is carbon-free. Locally, the Tullahoma Utilities Authority installed a solar farm on just over 1 acre of land on Spring Creek Road in Tullahoma in April of 2019, and it now produces solar power 7 days a week. The TUA solar farm is relatively small, but can generate enough renewable energy to power approximately 27 average Tullahoma homes every year. The TUA solar farm array is a fixed tilt array and contains 648 modules, each generating 370 watts of power at peak efficiency. Estimated power produced will be 280,000 kilowatt hours annually. A typical home uses 10,399 kilowatts per year. Tullahoma residents can opt in for as little as $4 a month to help support solar energy production. Coffee County Sheriff's Department is asking the community to be on the lookout for a 2015 Polaris Razor 900 stolen over the weekend from the Beech Grove area. The pictured white Chevy Colorado is a vehicle of interest. If anyone has information, please contact Investigator James Sherrill at 931-728-9555 or 931-570-4404. Stay with us. More news is coming up in just a moment.
You made the time and the sacrifice to broaden their horizons, to see their smiles, but mostly to make lifelong memories. We think it's time to do it again, just the two of you. Don't let illness or injury slow you down. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Welcome back. Governor Bill Lee addressed his constituents on Tuesday for his State of the State presentation. Before getting into the plan for 2021, the governor recapped the trials and tribulations the state went through during 2020.
As this setting is for a State of the State, let me say that it is good to be here in person. That's right. Last year, we stood together at the starting line of 2020, ready for a challenge, even more ready to leave our mark on what was sure to be a historic year for our state. Little did we know, the events that would take place just a few weeks after would set the tone for our year. An unimaginable one for us that included the rise of a global pandemic, devastating tornadoes, flooding, violence, unrest, an economic collapse, a downtown explosion, and witnessing our nation undergo painful turmoil at the highest levels of government. There have been heartbreaking losses. We mourn the more than 10,000 Tennesseans that we have lost in these deadly events this year. In many respects, what was optimism has become a tempered feeling of resolve and perhaps even cautiousness about what lies ahead in 2021 as we move forward, but work to make sense of it all. Scripture has a lot to say about that crossroads and what to do on the heels of suffering. Where do we find promise in this season? The promise is found in perseverance, which produces character that leads to hope. Tennesseans will know tonight that tragedy has no hold on who we are or where we are headed. Tragedy will not define us. It won't rob us of the opportunity that 2021 holds. In fact, this year holds its own unique place in our history as we celebrate 225 years of statehood.
We'll be right back in a moment with more News Leader.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. It's a Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Welcome back. Governor Lee also spoke in his State of the State address about his $41.8 billion spending plan he has in the 2021 budget.
Our fiscal stability and management have again won high praise even this year, when many states are dealing with budget crises on top of other challenges. We have worked with members of the General Assembly to create the Financial Stimulus Accountability Group, which has ensured good stewardship of federal dollars that have come our way. Those of us who have run a business know that deferring maintenance is a bad idea always, and therefore we've ignored this temptation to put off these projects in the midst of economic uncertainty. In this year's budget, we're proposing the largest capital maintenance budget in our state's history. More than $900 million in capital improvements and maintenance on both state buildings and higher education campuses. We're also meeting other important obligations in our budget. We will fully fund the BEP funding formula and the THEC outcomes-based formula, ensuring that our students are put in the best position possible to recover from the pandemic. And when the dust settles on this year, our combined rainy day and TennCare reserve funds will be $2 billion, the largest in the state's history. We proactively used our state's federal relief dollars to ensure the solvency of our unemployment trust fund, which would minimize the tax burden on employees and encourage hiring. As a result, while over half of the states in this country have lost more than 75% of their trust fund value, Tennessee enters 2021 fully solvent at the lowest employer tax rate. Our budget situation allows us to stand up here after a very challenging year and recommend a number of bold proposals for your consideration. Using federal dollars, we're doubling the number of schools participating in the Civic Seal Initiative, which will ensure that thousands more students get better civics education in Tennessee. And going forward, we're developing a set of instructional materials that'll be free to districts so that ultimately every school can earn the governor's civic seal at no cost. As you all know, rural Tennessee is very close to my heart, and making it stronger is a major priority for my administration. Revitalization starts with economic development, and quality economic development is about investing directly into the communities. So we proposed $21 million to invest in rural communities and distressed counties to directly support rural infrastructure, industrial site development, small business development, and revitalizing small town main streets. And whether it's running a small business or accessing virtual learning or accessing healthcare via telemedicine, slow internet speeds have many in Tennessee left at a disadvantage. I've proposed record investments in broadband since becoming a governor, and I'm grateful for this legislature's support on that issue, but I'm ready for us to solve this issue once and for all. A significant one-time investment combined with significant private investment will get broadband to just about every community in Tennessee, and tonight, that's exactly what I'm proposing. To help us achieve our goal of every Tennessean having access to high-speed broadband, my budget will recommend historic investment of $200 million. We're proposing a new partnership with the Ayers Family Foundation to create a first-of-its-kind rural education partnership that will improve both the college-going and college success rate of students in our rural communities. This is a proven program that's already serving thousands of students, and I know that they can do even more with our support. Last year, the Future Workforce Initiative that I proposed and you enacted trained more than 200 teachers in STEM CTE programs. expanded access to AP computer science courses by 75%. Being pro-life isn't just about defending the unborn. And we must also think about how to use our passion for this issue to improve the lives of struggling families. My administration is preparing a number of new initiatives that we'll announce throughout the year that will make Tennessee a national leader in foster care and adoption. We're proposing a TennCare coverage extension for adopted youth that will allow them to retain their TennCare eligibility until age 18, regardless of federal or state adoption assistance eligibility. This extension will allow them to have a seamless transition into their new families, retaining existing physical and mental and behavioral health services and reducing the fiscal burden of adoption on their new families. We've improved training standards and paid for almost 100 cadets to attend improved law enforcement training at no cost to their local communities. We've added a new class of state troopers and 20 new TBI field agents. I think we can all agree that our law enforcement officials in our state have done an incredible job of protecting and serving the people of Tennessee. I will again be reintroducing constitutional carry legislation.
We'll be right back after these commercial messages.
Here at Stan McNabb Collision Center, we work with all major insurance companies, and we get the job done right the first time, on time.
Well, I grew up in Tullahoma. We'd always done business with Stan McNabb, so when we needed collision service after a run-in with a deer, we knew to call those guys. We already had trust with them. We called Cody. He took great care of us. He kept us posted every step of the way, and we couldn't have been more pleased.
Getting your vehicle back to pre-loss condition shouldn't be a headache. So in event of an accident, contact me, Cody Hall, at Stan McNabb Collision Center.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
Welcome back. The first day to file your federal tax return is this Friday, February the 12th. If this is your first year for filing your taxes, the IRS has prepared this video with helpful tips.
Hi, I'm Risa, and I work for the Internal Revenue Service. If this is your first time filing a federal tax return, it may seem overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be, especially if you use IRS Free File. With Free File, you could get access to tax preparation software and electronic filing free of charge through a partnership between the IRS and tax software companies. To get started, visit irs.gov/freefile to see a list of choices. Now, you probably receive forms such as the W-2 or 1099 or both. Tax software like Free File will prompt you to enter the information from these forms to complete your tax return. If you're a student, the software will ask you to enter tuition and fees information from forms like the 1098-T, and then see if you're eligible for any tax benefits. Free File is offered exclusively through the IRS website. The great thing about Free File is it will do the math for you. It will help you avoid errors, and it will find all the credits and deductions you're eligible for. On the other hand, if you would like to have an IRS-trained volunteer help you prepare and e-file your tax return, check out the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. Go to irs.gov/VITA to see if you qualify and to find the location of a VITA site near you. If you want to hire a tax professional to complete your tax return, make sure you pick someone you can trust. You are responsible for the information on your tax return, no matter who files it for you. You can search tips for choosing a tax professional and avoiding return preparer scams at irs.gov/choosetaxpro. No matter which method you choose to prepare your tax return, e-file is the best way to file an accurate tax return. And combining e-file with direct deposit is the fastest way to get your refund. You can check the status of your refund by using the Where's My Refund tool at irs.gov or on the IRS To Go mobile app. If, on the other hand, you owe additional taxes when you file, you can make a payment using IRS Direct Pay. Go to irs.gov/payments. Pay what you owe by the April deadline to avoid penalties and interest. And while you can get an automatic 6-month extension to file your tax return if you need more time, this is not an extension to pay any taxes you owe. Finally, remember to protect your sensitive personal financial data and beware of tax scams. If the IRS needs to contact you after you file your tax return, you will probably receive a notice in the mail first. Scam artists often impersonate the IRS by phone, email, and social media to try to steal information such as Social Security numbers, bank account numbers, or credit card numbers. Be careful and get to know all the resources available to you at irs.gov.
A new study released this week finds that patients with dementia are at a higher risk for COVID-19 and are more likely to have worse outcomes. The study, led by Case Western Reserve University researchers, reviewed electronic health records of 61.9 million adults in the United States and found that the risk for contracting COVID-19 was twice as high for people with dementia compared to the general population. The risk was greater still for African Americans with dementia, who were found to be close to 3 times as likely to be infected with COVID-19. The results also found that those with dementia who contracted the virus had far worse outcomes in terms of hospitalizations and deaths than those who caught COVID-19 but didn't have dementia. The overall hospitalization risk for adults with COVID-19 is about 25% for the general public, but almost 2/3 of patients who had dementia and COVID-19 were hospitalized, and that figure jumped to over 70% for African Americans with COVID-19 and dementia. Further, over 20% of patients with dementia died when they contracted the virus, in comparison to just over 5% of people without dementia. The study, which was published in the journal of Alzheimer's and Dementia, also found that certain types of dementia had a greater risk than others. For example, patients with vascular dementia had the highest risk, with odds more than 3 times higher, followed by patients with pre-senile dementia, senile dementia, Alzheimer's disease, and post-traumatic dementia. The study's authors stressed that their results emphasize how important it is to protect those with dementia from acquiring COVID-19, for they are at higher risk for severe disease than those without dementia. However, more research is needed to determine why people with dementia or Alzheimer's are more likely to catch COVID-19 and have poorer outcomes. But the research and other experts suggest that one reason is that people with dementia and Alzheimer's blood-brain barrier is damaged, which makes it easier for viruses and bacteria to reach their brain. Additionally, dementia can interfere with a person's ability to wear a mask, physically distance from others, or frequently clean their hands. Plus, the researchers point out that conditions such as cardiovascular disease, diabetes, obesity, and hypertension are risk factors for both dementia and COVID-19 and are associated with worse outcomes. Other experts have also noted that many dementia patients are in long-term care facilities, which has been hard hit by the ongoing pandemic. Recent data suggests that more than 100,000 residents and staff in long-term care facilities have died due to COVID-19, and nationwide, deaths in long-term care facilities account for almost half of all COVID-19 deaths. With the latest variant strain, that figure has undoubtedly increased. An estimated 5.8 million Americans aged 65 and older and 50 million people worldwide are living with Alzheimer's and other dementias, according to the Alzheimer's Association, who stressed the point it is critical to develop and implement strategies that strike a balance between keeping people, especially long-term care residents, safe from COVID-19, but also protecting them from health-related harms associated with with social isolation. For help locally, you can reach out to Fran Gray at Alzheimer's Tennessee to get help for you or your loved one living with the diagnosis. You can call her at 931-434-2348. Stay with us. Your weather forecast is coming up next.
My wife Jackie has always been the life of the party, but things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her, and now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tullahoma wants you to get active and live well.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's gonna be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Now open in Tullahoma, Parkview Senior Living, a luxurious retirement community designed for active seniors. Choose an apartment home that's truly inspired and have peace of mind knowing our caring and friendly staff is dedicated to your safety and well-being. We offer an abundance of amenities and services, and you're not required to buy in or be locked into anything. Call us today to learn more about our new Tullahoma location.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 1938 at 75 degrees. The record low was in 1912 at 1 degree. Average high on this day is 51, and the average low is 30. Rain is in the forecast for tonight, and it could turn icy, so be careful out there. We're expecting a low of around 30. Cloudy weather in the forecast for Friday with a high of 44 and a low of 33, with Saturday the rain moving back in with a high of 40 and a low of 23. And that's our News Leader report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for News Leader on 6. You have a good evening.